that I am not really happy about having to make, but it's important, so it must be made.
Yeah, I did that. I'm updating it on my sticky notes app and then just copying it and pasting it.
And what you guys are hearing in the voice chat are actually a couple of the people over on my Discord server who are spreading the word as we speak. Now, I don't know how many people have actually heard about this, but Equifax was hacked well, a few months ago, because all these news bits always take a few months to actually be revealed. Oh, Google was hacked. We'll tell you in 4 months. So yeah, Equifax was hacked a few months ago, where 143 million people had their information basically exposed. And what happened in those convening months was that Equifax's shareholders or executives just started selling off their stock, because when this news hit, their stock dropped to the floor, and they released this news at the end of the day. So this is the after market stock dropped. That's how bad it was, and it should be bad. It is horrible news. But that means that since the executives were more concerned with selling off their stock without causing a panic before they revealed this news dump, they probably weren't fixing the issue. Because if you're making a point to sell all your stocks before releasing a news that you know is going to cause your stocks to drop, you're probably not investing a lot of time and effort in fixing the problem that caused it in the first place. Everything takes time to do. Everything takes effort to do. If your time and effort is focused on selling off your stocks so you can have as much money in the bank when you reveal a big bit of bad news, chances are you're not putting budget towards fixing the issue that caused the panic in the first place. And the news is horrible. There really is no way to get around it. 143 million Americans' information was exposed. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, well, I don't have a credit card or whatever. Equifax is more than just your credit card information. Equifax, Experian, and I can't remember what the third one is called, but there are 3 main credit reporting bureaus. Equifax is one of them. Experian is another one. I can't remember what the third one is. They track tons of information, and it's not just their own information. They're going to off-site locations. They're going to... So basically, they're a giant hub for all the information, all your personal information coming in, held in 3 locations. And they're pulling from multiple sources. They're pulling from the government. They're pulling from stores. All this information to have as robust a profile of you as possible. So they can send you out your credit warnings and send you out all those creditor letters and, bug you for money. Or, if you don't have any creditor problems, they're just tracking you so you have your nice high credit score. And these 3 companies have all this information. And when one of these companies is hacked, in this case, Equifax, the name is so similar, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same news about the other one, because if Equifax was hacked, you can bet there's a pretty good chance that the other 2 have been hacked. Because all of these companies, I've been saying this for years, all these companies have horrible security. All big companies have horrible security. So if one of the big guys gets hacked, chances are the other 2 have gotten hacked. And if they haven't gotten hacked, they're probably scrambling to improve their security or cashing out. More likely cashing out would be my guess. Because typically, when one company panics, they all panic. And what all this information means, all this information that's been exposed, is that some hacker out there in the world, I won't even say the interwebs because this is real world stuff, some hacker out there in the world has, 143 million Americans' information, which includes their social security number, your name, your address, your work history, the places you shop, your credit score, all of that. Which basically means they have all the information needed to impersonate you. And since their information is as valid as your own information, because again, they got it from, Equifax, that means that if they wanted to, they could sue you for credit fraud. Because they can prove their information. And they have it on an easily accessible source. While you might remember your Social Security, you might remember where you worked 3 years ago. It's all going to be kind of muddled because, it's not a big priority to you. They've got a nice little spreadsheet with all the information clearly available. So if someone were to ask, this hacker, where were you working 3 years ago? You might take a minute or so to try and remember it. They've got it memorized. So yeah, they know more about you than you know about you.
No one knows more about me than I do.
They do. And if you're a person of some notoriety, those of you who are longtime fans of our broadcast might remember Furbus, Glitter Snooping, and how his father is the voice of Eggman. So yeah, if you've got somebody, so even if you're not a person of notoriety, if you're related to a person of notoriety, and either you or they were hacked, they can impersonate you or them. Now for me, my father is a Vietnam vet. If he's been exposed, that information can be given. I've got a lot of relations and connections. People who've watched my YouTubes have seen all the videos I have done, the various documentary videos for like Coalition to Ban Unsafe Oil Trains, or the Warrior Writer poetry readings. So if any of those people's information was exposed, or if my information was exposed, I'm not even. And here's the thing that I want to make as a really solid point for you folks. Equifax has posted a link on their website where you can put in the last 4 digits of your Social Security number and your name, and they'll tell you whether, okay, you're safe and you haven't been hacked, or you have been hacked. Sign up for our pay for service to protect you.
Because that's been hacked too.
No, that's the thing. I would recommend staying as far away from that as the Black Plague. Because it's hosted on Equifax's website. Equifax, who was hacked. You want to give them your Social Security number and your name to see if you're a person who's been hacked. No! Stay away! Treat it like the Black Death. Avoid it at all costs. You do not want to give a hacked company more of your information, especially if you cannot confirm if that company is still vulnerable.
This 1 month has probably been worse than the entirety of 2016.
So stay away from their little source, especially since they're charging you for the protection. And if you read the terms of service, this is the real kicker. If you read the terms of service, by agreeing to their protection service, their protection racket, you exempt yourself from any sort of class action lawsuit in the future against Equifax.
Oh, come on.
Yep. They compromised your private information. They'll charge you now for a service to protect yourself from any, suspicious activity in the future, and you can't sue them for their own mistake while they've been selling their stock. Stay as far away from the Equifax website as you can. If it was a physical person, I'd say turn, run, and keep running until your feet hurt. Don't go into that website under any circumstances. Treat it like the dark web. Use a place you do not go. Unless you've got Tor or some other service and you're really, good about cybersecurity. Do not go. Yeah. And here's the thing, because they've been compromised, here's the worst part. As I said before, there's people who have had this information, they have your full Social Security number, and they have your name. They can go to the Equifax website, since it's already been compromised, they don't care, sign in, thus negating your ability to sue, because they're registered under your name, take up the protection to protect themselves as you. So basically, Equifax has made it possible for hackers to benefit from your identity and make it impossible for you to actually sue them, and you can't do anything about it. Yeah, it's bad.
Look how
That's
vulnerable all this stuff is.
that's why I'm making this vlog, which is something I don't normally do for political and news-based things. You know, I normally do vlogs about, you know, media and television and talking about the tropes in them. This is important. I've been trained in cybersecurity. I'm a computer PC technician. I want you guys to understand that this thing is important enough that I am going to make a point of it.
Yeah, it's just like, if all of this is so vulnerable, why do we even use Equifax?
The thing is, you don't use Equifax. No one uses Equifax. You don't make an account at Equifax. Equifax collects data on you. No one here has ever had an account at Equifax, except for maybe if you're trying to check your credit score directly as opposed to going with Credit Karma. You don't have an Equifax account. I don't have an Equifax account. Furbus doesn't have an Equifax account. No one here is going to have an Equifax account, but Equifax has all your information.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's like
It's something you really need to understand, is that even if you've had no interaction with Equifax, Equifax has your information. That's kind of the point. It's like how if, say, the IRS was hacked, you don't directly, well, yeah, okay, granted, you do your IRS returns every year. What would be a better example? Federal student loan, but again, that's something you sign up for. It'd be more akin to if the Social Security division was hacked. The people who actually create and hand out your Social Security numbers when you're born. It's an agency that collects information, they keep track of you, and you never sign up for it. You never sign up for a Social Security number. It's given to you. And here's the worst part of it. If your Social Security number is compromised, you can't do jack shit about it. Because you can get a new credit card. You can change your name. You can change where you live. You can change your job. You can change your credit card information. Well, I'll have all that logged. But here's the thing. You can never change your Social Security number. Ever. If your Social Security number is compromised, there is jack shit you can do about it, because you cannot change your Social Security number.
unless you're in witness protection.
Yes, unless you're in witness protection. So,
The only reason I know your social security number is
so yeah. So you guys need to really understand how significant the Social Security thing is. All the other stuff is bad and horrible, really, because it really compromises you as a person if you're a person that's been affected. But when you lose the privacy of your Social Security number, you're kind of screwed, because unless the United States government is going to issue new Social Security numbers to 143 million Americans, you're screwed for the rest of your life. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, folks. You are screwed for the rest of your life if you're one of the people affected by Equifax. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
unless by some weird miracle the whole system is overturned.
I mean, sure, we can always fantasize about best case scenarios on how to fix this, but once your Social Security number is compromised, that's it.
I know I shouldn't make a joke about this, but what if Irma just flew up into the air and it was like, fuck the hackers, and then like it flew up into the air and landed directly where the hackers were. Yeah, that would be very weird. It's somewhat amusing.
It would be somewhat amusing, and I think that's a good point to end this video on. It's at least something to put a smile on our faces, folks. So, good luck. Be careful. One last thing I will mention. Years ago, one of my friends sent me a link to a website where you could put in your name and it would show all the people across the United States who had your name. It was good for checking identity theft. I tried to find it, haven't been able to find it. If you can find it, let me know. I will share the link with everybody. But, yeah. See if you can find that website. It's good to know, even before the hack, if there's anyone out there sharing your identity. But definitely now, definitely something people should be trying to find. Peace out.